this is probably one of the more deranged games in recent history. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We're back to our regularly scheduled programming, at least for the time being. Back from my tournaments. I got cooked. It was not good. There's really no two ways about it. And I just got smoked. It happens sometimes. So we're going to be looking at some Phobies games here on our viewer game stream. I'm not sure what schedule will be for tomorrow for streaming. I'm kind of taking a break from Star Wars probably for this week, so I don't think I'm going to be doing a Star Wars stream. I don't know. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. The game plan might be just take another night off, but I wanted to make sure we looked at viewer games. Now, speaking of viewer games, we don't have nearly as many in the queue tonight as we usually do. That's good for me. I can rest, hydrate up, that sort of thing, because I am absolutely dehydrated. It was a long trip, long day, despite not being a very good day for me. But we're going to be looking at some viewer games. As always, I am part of the content affiliate program. That means the Phobies team does in fact give me coffee for producing Phobies content. And I've now had multiple questions from people asking, how does that work? How does that happen? The short version is you got to talk to the devs. Go into the official channels like their Discord. Ask them about it. I don't know if there are any open slots in the content affiliate program. They don't tell us. Last I knew, it was full. But with turnover and stuff like that, I don't know. Assassin's Creed. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since 2. Was the last one, and I liked it. What's funny is, like, everybody loves Ezio, right? Everybody loved Ezio. I really liked Altair way more. I thought it was way more interesting then. Not that what happened in 2 wasn't interesting. It was enough that my wife and I were actually excited and enjoyed the Assassin's Creed movie. The issue is, when they realized, Ubisoft realized what they had, they did what any money-making oriented organization is going to do, which is drag everything out. So I don't think there will ever be a conclusion to the story, so I absolutely lost interest. Like, I just don't care. Which is unfortunate, because I think there are cool and interesting things that can happen with Assassin's Creed, but they're just not going to happen. But aside from Assassin's Creed, which, by the way, everybody, let me double check this. I discovered earlier that my mic had been messed up, so I'm hoping that everything is sounding right. If this video has horrendous audio quality for me and I sound like I'm in a tunnel or something, or I'm yelling into a pot, it's because it's picking up my webcam mic for some reason, which I think this happens because Windows updates and it like resets what it thinks the default device is. So I saw, the audio mixer is picking up sound. I'm like, okay, we're okay. But it's not, because it reverted to the default device and Windows changed the default device. Long story short, if the audio quality blows, my bad. I tested it to make sure that it wasn't bad earlier, and that's how I discovered it, because I was doing a different recording, and I'm hoping it's stuck. We'll see. But with that out of the way, let's jump into a Tombstone game. Dirty Bean Water back once again. I don't know how to describe this game. Well, I am confident that I have words that could be considered adjectives and will be applied to this game. Haven't seen too much out of Tombstone. I'm telling you, I really wish that I'm truthfully anxiously awaiting the anniversary update, because that's our next opportunity to get a big change. And I'm not going to say the game's future is riding on it. But I don't think anyone looks at the population and goes, yeah, we're definitely not hemorrhaging people at this point. Whether it's turnover and we're getting replacements, that's a Zappy to counter Zappy? What? All right, sure. It could be it's turnover and, you know, not everybody enjoys something forever. Like that, not everything is, nothing lasts forever, right? Like, people move on. And they've had their fun. And then you now enjoy something else. That's perfectly acceptable. Or other things in your life came up. But at the end of the day, we do need for things to continue evolving, to continue supporting the existing player base. It's always important to be getting new players. And I think improving things is one of the ways to get and retain new players. And believe me, there's a lot of new player-oriented stuff that could be done. Why do we have Boo Fairy this early in the game? I'm way more dehydrated than I thought I was. I started the stream and it's like, I can feel it on my tongue. This is, like, bizarrely mirrored? I guess not really. It's really just Shove Shark and Zappy, but... We're gonna have this weird game of chicken between Zappy and... Zappy. Moly Bully. Once upon a time, I was very high on Moly Bully. I really felt it was a great phobia and underrated. Ooh, got him. I would not have put it there. So what I think I would have done... maybe not. Never mind. This is probably fine. I was considering saying put it behind Boo Fairy. I don't know. It's tough. If you put it behind the Boo Fairy, at least you have the option to maybe... Like, they have to back away towards their erratic, but do you want them to back away towards their erratic? Probably not. So this might be better ultimately. This is bad for that Glob. That Glob has had better days. That's not how it worked in the movie The Blob. You couldn't just pummel it to death. They actually... I think in Blob 2... They also never had an answer. Because they froze it. And then it got... It didn't get unfrozen because they froze it and then, like, dropped it in the Arctic or something. But they couldn't... Then, like, some mad scientist or something chopped off part of it and kept it in a jar. And I think that's how Blob 2 starts. But I don't remember that too well. So I don't even remember the ending. Now I'm going to have to look that up. They did have a absolutely... scarring scene in that where one of the characters, like the way one of the characters dies. I mean, there's some deaths in there that are weird. Like there's one where somebody, the Blob reaches up through a sink, like through the drain, and pulls someone through the garbage disposal, like into the sink. Which is like, but because of the time the movie was made, it was just almost comical because it just looks so absurd. But it's obviously a horrifying way to go. But there was a later scene where somebody dies. Dude, we're like... Ooh. Wait, what? I assume Clinico's coming in for the kill, or maybe it's Bo. Bo is going to finish off the erratic here. Well done. Honestly, it just feels like bad guys kind of getting picked apart here. Also, it's globbing time. Yo, dog, we heard you like glob, so we put a glob in your glob so you can glob all you glob. It's been a while since we've said that. That hasn't happened in a long time. Admittedly, the glob didn't accomplish much globbing the glob, but how much glob would a glob glob if a glob could glob globs? That doesn't have the right ring to it. How many globs could a glob glob if a glob could glob globs? It's because there aren't enough syllables in all of that. But anyway, the horrifying kill is there's one where, like, somebody gets globbed or gets eaten by the blob. And they're trying to escape, like, I think out of the sewers, because I remember them climbing up a ladder. So they're climbing up this ladder, and then, like, somebody gets pulled off by the blob and eaten. And then everybody's like, oh no, Timmy got eaten by the blob, or whatever. and they look back, and then Timmy, like, lunges out from the blob and, like, grabs onto somebody's ankle or something. And you look back, and they're, like, you can see their skin and tissue dissolving because the glob is, like, digesting them. And it's horrifying. Like, even for the special effects of the time, it's just absolutely horrifying. Spoiler alert for, like, I don't know, probably a 50-year-old movie at this point. Dude, there's a counter boof area. I didn't even notice this. We were so busy talking about the blob. What is this game? This game is deranged. This is far and away the most deranged game of the week. Mostly because it's the first one. Doesn't have a whole lot of competition yet. However, given the fact that we had globs globbing globs, and we got boo fairies clawing the crap out of other boo fairies, this is probably one of the more deranged games in recent history. However, we are down now to 0 keys to 0 keys. Our hero has a massive board advantage. Monstrous, one might even say. It's really more mechanical. Panic point advantage, phobia advantage. Not a hard health advantage, but that's irrelevant here. Unfortunately, not quite enough damage to just finish off bad guy this turn. Hopefully our hero doesn't decide to, like, swing around and hit the heart a bunch of times pointlessly. Yeah, this is unnecessary. Clean water. Alright. Got him. GG. GG. I will say, I don't know what happened to that quest rework. Don't worry, be frappy. How about no? We were supposed to get a quest rework a while ago, right? I do think that there should be more emphasis and effort put on you see it in the current quest system where it's you do certain things with certain phobies and then you earn the cards. But I think they should just be meta quests. So, for example, Ice Scream. When you freeze 5, 10, 50, 100, 500, 1,000 phobies, you know, what, I'm just making up numbers here. But when you freeze that quantity of phobies, because it's a freeze phobie, you should get some amount of whatevers. And it should just be meta progression for literally every phobie. This is not an uncommon system. It is something that comes up in many games where it's like, use the thing. Hell, even Call of Duty does this. Or did. I don't know I haven't played Call of Duty in years, but it used to be when you were leveling up things to get skins or unlock other guns, other abilities, whatever. It was like, use this thing to get Y number of kills. Or use this thing X number of times. Just do that with the phobies. I mean, I'm looking at the next game's profile, and for whatever reason, there's a Temptress as an MVP, but, like, use the Electro Ball thing. X, Y, Z, etc. number of times, and then you get your stuff. Like, come on, please. Let's do this. What we're also going to do is zone into a Withering Heights game from killerfrost. Opponent did a good job keeping me at bay with Phantom that only delayed the slaughter. All right, let's see. Prove it. You got a lot of eyeballs on this game. What's weird is there's eyeballs below. Like, what are these eyeballs looking at? You think the eyeballs can, like, see through the game? And some of the ones that are above don't look like they're looking at the board. These do. I know we're not really watching the game, but, like, some of these look like they're not quite pointed at the action. Like this one. What is this one on the right-hand side, the big one? What is that looking at? I guess if you... Because it looks like it's above the board. And it's like looking up in the corner over here. Like, I don't know. I know it's just background stuff, but we've talked about a lot of Phobie games, so we're adding in some commentary. Anyway, we got a Cyclops, we got a Billy, we got Rusty. That should be an in-game quest. Connect Rusty with Billy, because that feels as though it should never happen, right? If you allow your Billy to get hit with Rusty, you deserve what happens. I'm getting a lot of use out of the Clown Cup I got for Christmas, Jet. It's making sure I stay hydrated. The Shove Shark is deployed relatively, or is that a Boolean, or... Yeah, it's a Boolean. Interesting. Setting up that aggressive pool is actually kind of cool. I do like that out of Bad Guy. You get the heal, you can obviously swap the Boolean onto it relatively easily. Panic point advantage. Our hero is in a weird spot, but they do have Gonzo ready and willing to power up that Billy. And honestly, you could probably push the Gonzo up right now and really threaten a pretty aggressive push. And with Rusty out of the way, you don't even have to worry about it. And there is the man of the hour. The tooth of the hour. Imagine for a moment if Doc Holliday was actually the Tooth Fairy. What if that was Tooth Fairy instead of the Tooth Fairy we got? That is a phantom, but there isn't all that many threatening things to fling in there? Excuse me. You could make a weird play happen maybe with the boom. Much for that idea. That's a panic point advantage going to our hero. And with Billy and Gonzo holding down this position, Bad Guy kind of needs to get their feet back under them because our hero's in a great spot here. At least in my opinion. You got the big old yoink in Doc Holliday. You got the damage output between Gonzo and Billy. And you have the panic point advantage. And you have an available key advantage with 10 keys ready to reinforce. Now, Bad Guy is going for the Wombo play. We do have both Kaboom and Phantom on the board, but Boss, the big boss man's kind of making a resurgence in the last few weeks. Who's pinging me? Let's follow up, or fallout, we'll say, from the tournament. I don't like losing, chat. So I'm going to be putting in a lot of work for the next one. I was hoping to get a win out of the way early in the season so I could kind of, like, not completely screw around, but just take it a little bit easier. That did not happen. We'll leave it at that. Didn't go well. All right, Bad Guy trying to stage an offensive here. I would like to see a Shove Shark out of our hero. Regardless of the phobia in question, there are several that kind of ruin Bad Guy's day if something can happen. I don't know that I love this positioning. Okay, there's the Shove Shark. So, Shove Shark is, of course, at the top of everybody's list for potentially problematic phobies. Everybody wants to blame the Sentinels and things like that. I get it. I feel like Bad Guy could have gone for a play here. Don't you, Kaboom? Maybe they just don't have enough damage to kill the boss with the Kaboom and the Cyclops. Because I think you could have teleported it in. But Part of my issue is both Phantom and Shove Shark do feel as though... I'm going to say they have to exist in order to enable stuff. Oh, here it comes. Boop. Oh, wait, what? I thought we were going for the big cook up north. The big cookout. The positioning trick with the Billy was pretty cute here. But that is fried Cyclops right there. So yeah, as I was saying, the Shove Shark and Phantom, we obviously live without them. They didn't always exist, so they don't have to exist. I guess where I'm going with it is this. If the Sentinels go away, I kind of expect that we're going to end up with a similar situation just with something else. Yes, right now, if the Sentinels disappear tomorrow, and I'm not saying they will or anything like that, but like let's say that the devs nerf the hell out of the Sentinels, maybe for the anniversary update. They nerf the Sentinels, they disappear, or they buff counters or whatever. We may be fine for a little bit until people discover the next broken thing. But it's only a matter of time before something Sentinel-esque gets introduced, I think. Not a bad hit. Takes down the Gonzo. But that's not good enough. 3 keys remaining for our hero. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Clinico. Final Phobie is a Miss Moffat out of bad guy. Little Moffat action. Boop. Yoink. Cooked spider? I think so. Also gonna get bombed. The casual point cap as well from Billy. Blom. Down goes Miss Moffat, and honestly, probably down goes bad guy. Yep, there in fact is the Clinico. I don't believe there's any way... You might be able to Shove Shark the Gin Sting up, maybe get a Gonzo boost. I don't think that's going to be enough to kill the boss, even if you could. But if you don't kill the boss this turn, which it looks like there is no out for that, you're never killing that boss. It's going to heal. Our hero can defend these points rather trivially. Eventually, Doc Holliday comes back online, and you get picked apart again. Yeah, this one's pretty much in the bag. Big ol' you're fired. It's a lot of HP to chew through. Goon and boss. Our hero kind of just daring bad guy to do something as well. The preemptive you're fired also means that these 3 melee phobies are going to struggle to find positioning where they can actually do something. And GG. Bad guy appropriately surrenders. Very well played. Alright, chat. Let's see what we got for the next one. Alright, we got a longer one here on Tombstone from nuclrardeath. And actually, they did put in the game name. Yes, it's a typo that I haven't fixed yet. Well, spoiler alert, you can't fix it. You actually need to get the devs to intervene. So you could ping the devs in Discord and they'll be able to fix it. My first time beating Hoploy, long end game where my heart survived with 100 HP. Those are always satisfying games when you're on the winning side. And of course, devastating losses when you're on the bad guy side. We're starting off with some turrets. What's your thought, chat? What do people think of this map? I am curious. Billy out of nuclrardeath. Should just call them nuclear. It's quite clearly supposed to be nuclear. So we have a fairly significant level disparity, as one does when they're fighting Hoploy, our resident bad guy, our perennial bad guy. A lot of people submit games with Hoploy as bad guy. I wonder what Hoploy or people in Hoploy's position would do if tomorrow the devs announce that everything is just always at level 1 or something like that. I can't wait to hear the slap in the face argument, because that's what people love to say. Ooh, we get the twin shove sharks. I never noticed that it's a gold nose ring on Finnegan, but it's a silver nose ring for Chauvel. Gonzo out of Hoploy. I presume our hero is just going to try and set up a defensive wall here. You know, you take your poke shots at Billy like this, but you're not going to invade with this particular setup. Game plan appears to just be try and advance slowly. Little bad omen action. Ooh, and the cupcake to really discourage a push from Hoploy. I like that setup. I don't know if this is tanky enough if Hoploy really wanted to do something, but... Notably not capping the northernmost panic point, though. And Hoploy's actually backing off. I'm not really clear on why here. I mean, the cupcake is threatening, of course, with Billy there, but... I don't know. It's probably more the bad omen, shooing them away so that their team doesn't get powered down to our hero's level. Sort of. Then it's only an even fight. Alright, panic point starting to get stabilized 3-2, but Billy's going to do Billy things and just poke away at your team until you do something. And I'm not sure getting into a poke war here is what you want to do, but we are going to get a quick disease onto this unicorn. I did not... Oh, no, we're not. It's flying. Never mind. Smiley's flying. Not affected by the conveyor tiles, and I feel like Hoploy may have forgotten that fact as well. Alright, looks like we're going to sack the corn and a cupcake. The old smile. Ooh, 999 damage. That's a lot. Not enough to kill the Smiley, though, but obviously Smiley can't really escape, so... Muffin Top, the other pastry. Kira, huh? That will ensure that stalemates do not, in fact, happen. Hoploy with 12 keys total remaining, 7 available. There's a lot of things that could come out of that vault. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Actually, nothing can come out of that vault because bad guys' phobie count is maxed. That's essentially 4 free keys. Smiley's still very healthy. There are no mechanicals on our hero side of the board. 11 keys, 6 available. How do you get out of this? Akira's not online yet. Oh no, the disease on Billy. You gotta do what you gotta do. Oh my god. All 3 hits had to go in there. Oh, the power down. Good play. Good play. This allows the Akira to actually deliver some damage, which is a rarity for the most part. But a 4-to-1 panic point advantage for bad guy. Our hero does indeed need to start making moves. That is a very aggressively positioned Kerploom. But a bad guy doesn't address it. Alright, Boolean's just taking it. Given the Akira, because the Akira's online now, and I think the Akira can just move up, pull both sides, and then you just cook their... Ooh, okay, that changes things. Because if you do that, you are going to be both pulling in the Hevo, obviously, and you're going to be grouping up for it. But I think you got to go for an Akira play soon. And there it is. Juiced up Billy. Going for the Bluelian. I have to imagine the Billy attacks are sufficient. Oh, yeah. Actually, maybe not. The fire. Yeah, the fire is going to be the issue. Down goes Bad Omen. 1 key to 3 remaining. But actually, the Hevo is out of range. It is not in position to really do anything meaningful here. But Gonzo is going to be live, and Gonzo Hevo 3.0 is a big deal. So our hero needs to kind of split their forces, split Hoploy's forces, continue to pick things off, and then collapse back onto the Hevo. Panic point pressure continues, still 4-to-1 here. Ooh, the juiced via stim Billy. Panic points flipping into our hero's favor. Oh, that hurts. Having to waste that on the Bad Omen, but it is the correct play. Picking things off, removing them from the board. Bad guy Billy as well as Hevo are still live. And Hevo just doesn't care. Evo's going in. Ouch down, population hero. Can probably take the Billy. That's interesting. Burning the Gonzo to kill the cat. I think bad guy's in the same position where it's just take the kills where we can get them. $1,035 damage off of a Shove Shark. Obviously off the stim, but still. Power down on the Akira thanks to blue. We still need green and red and yellow. I want more balloons. I want more balloons. Evo running for its life, I guess? Hopefully resuming the heart pressure here. Ooh, we get the shove. Good play. Good play. Making some notes for editing. Can't kill the bow, though, dude. Unreal. Unreal. You get the dimensional trade with Stabby, though. Probably was off of the Stabby's Reflect. Panic point advantage once again in our hero's favor. Kira's got to be live again soon. I wonder if bad guy could have aggressively positioned the Hevo to just, like, hard push with a Gonzo buff. Sort of. Pop. That is so much damage. Like an obscene amount of damage. And here's the yoink, just to make everything more effective. Down goes Gonzo, and then there was only Hevo remaining. Bad guy attempting to flee. They are in range of 3 attacks. Talking about leaving it all on the field. A 100 heart health. Somebody fibbed in the notes. That's okay. Well played. GG. Well played. Kind of hungry, chat. I think it's just tired. Being tired. Alright, so we're going to close it out with a few dearh games. And they are all favorited. Sweet. First of 3, we're zoning into exponential decay. Early Akira takedown gives huge advantage, as it would, given it's a 9 key. And it's a big asset to lose. I'm gonna make sure I hydrate up, chat. Drink your water, it's important. Ugh. I am tired though, chat. I had to get up so early yesterday for that tournament. Early Tooth Fairy. Sure. I mean, what's the difference? Murderwing. 6 in one, half dozen the other. Although it is funny, we've talked about this before, how Tooth Fairy kind of displaced Murderwing because of the more consistent level of damage rather than the explosive components, excuse me, of having Meatball. It's fine. I don't know. Personally, I feel like I'd rather have the explosive potential, even if it's clearly more consistent. Because of the frailty of these particular phobies, I think it's more value to be able to, like, okay, I go in, I get my 1 hit, I get the big value, and then odds are I die. But there are different scenarios where each of them are going to shine, so... Regardless, Panic Point advantage, hero 3-2. We got a Ray coming out, probably building into the stalemate phase of the game. Gin Sting, House Standard. And a little sheeping gas. Why the sheeping gas? Really, what are we hitting with the sheep here? Cupcake is the answer from bad guy? I mean, I guess you can hit the 2 undead, but who cares? You know, I wonder if we'll ever get dual type phobies where something could be like dimensional mech. That would that be the most broken one? Dimensional mech. Undead is pretty much just a liability. And for example, an undead mech phobie would probably be not great because their damage output is supposed to be lower. And then you have life leech, but you do have extra health, so maybe that's better because you could tank it and leech more life back. Oh no! Bad guy! How do you... Oh no, not like this. Don't even go for the fart explosion, just going for the regular fart. Yikes. That isn't so much the Akira kill. I mean, again, losing Akira sucks. But just losing 9 keys like that. The tempo loss, the obvious resource. Stuff spot. That's not what you want to do. And your retaliation is to get the sheep. And that might be it. Are we going to get the Moffat? Okay, so we get sheep and creep. So that's 6 keys. While it's possible to get the spider, it's unlikely. And if our hero continues the pressure, they can certainly get more. Like, the poison from Miss Moffat is not a joke. Nor is that dead Gin Sting. No power down, we're just going to slap the crap out of creep. Oof, and bad guy handing over keys. Just throwing them away. That's a big deal. Bad guy gonna get some counter kills, but now that Hevo is trapped, meaning that Ray is gonna be able to connect with it. Flail does get a solid whack. We got the old onion boy. People love to put this phobie on the board, and it's not a very good phobie. It's not very good. Interesting. Admittedly, bad guy can't do much to intervene. Some werewolf action? Oh, the double hit here. You don't even need it. Alright, bad guy is under a lot of pressure. Only 5 keys remaining. Onion Boy is live. I doubt that's the correct play, but I doubt it matters as well. Our hero has 3 phobies ready and willing to clobber the heart. Panic point advantage is in favor of bad guy, but there's not a lot of heart health left. And I don't think jackalopes are the way to get out of this. I get wanting to take the kill on Wooly Bully, but I feel like you gotta try and defend a little bit harder than this. Like, actually kill the things that are fighting the heart. Wouldn't it not have been better to put the Murder Wing behind the Tooth Fairy? AWOL just trades? That's so bad. Oh wow, Werewolf got smoked. Bad guy's just getting beat. There's no... There's really not much in the way of, oh, I did this cool play or something. It's just the Akira went down and it was all downhill from there. I think our hero could have just stayed on the heart. I don't think it would be necessary to do anything else, but... I get wanting to claim the panic points back. The bad guy would have to force themselves through that choke. And you probably could just annihilate the heart in the meantime. Why are there... I guess bad guy gets turn, then you get a turn, the game ends. I was gonna say, why are there 2 turns left, but... Punch the heart. Punch the heart. Punch the heart. You don't need to do this. There we go. We didn't take like 15 actions to end the game. We just ended the game pretty quick. GG. We're swapping this just so I can find the breakpoints easier. Obviously, everybody can see the profile, so... Spoilers can only be averted so much. Alright, now we're on Dark Manor with dearh. Repeller is such a nuisance. I think most people at this stage will agree with you. I think most people would agree with you. I've always been on record, and I still kind of agree, Repeller is the worst of the 3 Sentinels, but being the worst of the best series of Phobies in the game is still pretty good. I just think that 3 Rangers are a problem. I'm kind of coming around to the idea that 3 movers might be okay, because as long as you make the rule that 3 move Phobies are melee, that's probably fine, right? Because you can get them in there, but they're probably not coming back out. 3 range, actual range, is very powerful. Chuck is a 9 key. That's fine. Butcher, also expensive. Jar, cheap, but it's really just poke damage. The damage output on... Like, why is Inoculus not 350 damage or less? 400 damage is my standard for, like, yeah, this is solid damage. And there's really no reason for it to have it. They also have too much health, but... So the answer from bad guy to the Sentinel problem is Zappy. On a small map like this, I get it. No Shove Shark is going to make life challenging for bad guy. Our hero invested keys in Thunder Rocks, which is not a decision I would typically recommend. But we'll see. The Rusty response is actually kind of cute, because locking the Zappy down really shuts off a big portion of bad guy's game plan. However, without a way to actually pressure your opponent, this is only going to do so much, because your clock is just not that big on this map via panic points. And whereas previously you could have locked down the Zappy and then move the Repeller into range and just shell the heart, here, because of the body blocks from Bad Guy, and again, they put Haffy out for who knows what reason, you can't quite do that because the Zappy is protected from getting hit with Rusty. But in either case, the Boop here does push the push back. Haffy trundling into the middle. I was about to ask why is Haffy doing so much damage, but I forgot it's powered up. It needs a static animation, or static, not animation, but a static visual change. Yes, it has the bolts of, oh, I got juiced by Gonzo or Cupcake or Stims or whatever. But I think that what it looks like when it's getting hit is what it should look like all the time when it's buffed. I think it's a big miss not to have that. Werewolf looks different. Ogre looks different. Why does Haffy go back to normal? I actually like this play a lot. It messes with the positioning here, not just locking down the Eternal Night, but also messing with the Zappy positioning, because now it has to go where dearh wants it to, if it wants to interact. Apparently it doesn't want to interact, it wants to pull back and wait for backup, so we have Daisy coming out to support the team, 3 keys apiece remaining. So I imagine the cat is going to trade with the Eternal Night. You just kind of have to jump through some hoops to set it up. And we get the Boop. Little bit of chip damage on the heart. Alright, cat's not going to finish it off. Probably would have died, I guess. But now Bad Guy is really far out of position. The Repeller is notably in position to hit the heart. And we also have a Cupcake. Bad things are going to happen to Bad Guy. Yeah, Repeller was an absolute nuisance here. I don't think this is... It's certainly obnoxious. I think Bad Guy's response to it was not spectacular. They could have or should have done other things. Oh, excuse me. As compared to now, we have the Shove Shark edition, where it's possible that our hero can just poke Bad Guy to death from this position. Prior to this, it was just kind of a standard game, and this would be where Boss Gonzo or another dive-centered team can make an appearance and put a lot of pressure on the Sentinel player. We're not going to see that, obviously. Bad Guy can try and get in there, but you're not going to connect with the Repeller. You're going to be either directly or soon to be directly exposed to the Ray Chargels. And there's just no way for them to get in here. This was lost way earlier in the game, and I think it kind of came down to Phobie choices, not getting the appropriate counters. They needed more ways to advance their Zappy. Either you build an entourage around it, you get a Shove Shark online, so that way you can try and push it into the arms, the waiting arms of the Repeller. But the current config and throughout the game, Bad Guy just couldn't muster a decent enough team. Making their final stand, but not going to be good enough. Not enough. Man. Resurrect Phobies need help. GG, well played. Alright, chat. Let's see. Last game for this evening, which, like I said earlier, is good. I'm tired. It is the longest of the three. We return once again to Tombstone. I hate Billy more with every passing day. This is the first time I won against Billy. I gotta be honest, I don't see how Billy is not a problem long term. Maybe it works out. Maybe Billy is the fixed Sentinel, sort of. The problem is he does exactly what everybody hates about Sentinel Shove Shark, with one phobie instead of two. Admittedly, the math is different. Billy doesn't have the damage output, but it's a different key cost. Like, there are a lot of differences, and like I said, maybe there's a world where it's fine, but my guess is it's going to be a problem long haul. Like, this Billy right now can go in, get a hit, get out, all from the stim. It's a free 710 damage hit. Admittedly, our hero can push up with the bow, but then the bow is exposed to triple hit from Billy, double hit from an Oculus, and a connection from the cat. None of these things are what you want. We're going for it anyway, though. I'm going to assume our hero did the math and confirmed that they will not die. We get a Bluelian to back up the rest of the team. Panic point advantage, bad guy. So, one thing that's come up in discussions with Karst is Karst doesn't like solved games. And, like, I get it. And that's a different discussion than what I'm going for here. But as a result of those discussions, and when we're talking solved game, we're talking about, like, individual maps or even the game as a whole. It doesn't have to necessarily be one or the other, or both. But one of the discussion points that's come up as a result of that is having maps where it's like, this is the predefined strategy, or, like, having build orders or things like that. I am of the opinion, I like the idea of build orders of, like, I'm going for a Shove Shark Sentinel build. The appropriate answers to that are A, B, or C. And I'm doing this, so that means you need to do this. And it doesn't need... I don't like that the answer is Firkin as the answer to Phantom strategies or Akira strategies or whatever. I want multiple things that you can respond with, and they don't necessarily have to be single phobie. So what do I mean by that? Like, say they go Shove Shark Sentinel, and Zappy is just the answer on a given map or something, and obviously the maps influence this. I want there to be multiple ways, but it is, hey, I'm having a problem with this phobie. Ideally, you want it to be just positioning and strategy that allows you to flip the game in your favor. The problem is, I don't think that is possible given the current configuration and the uniqueness of both the phobies and strategies. You would have to homogenize things and make them more bland, by definition, in order to make that a thing. So I think you do need to have some level of play, counterplay, in the sense of this is the actual direct counter to XYZ. And I think that there is going to be an interesting in-game meta of like the meta in an individual game of, I'm trying to set up this strategy. I see you are trying to go for this counter, so I need to try and set up this counter to make my initial strategy work, or I need to abandon that and try and pivot to a new one. And I think that's an interesting chess game that can happen within a game of Phobies. Because if you watch chess, or you study chess, like, there are openers, there are specific strategies that people try and go for. To a degree. Obviously, it gets very complex over the course of a game to try and identify all of these different things. But Phobies isn't chess. It is very much like it, but it's not the same game. So I'm okay with it having these options. Why is there a Dr. Dermick? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm tired, so I started getting more theoretical and esoteric. Here we have Shove Shark. Is Shove Shark the biggest queen phobie in the game now? Like, it was always the problem with queens of, oh, it's Hevo 3.0, oh, it's whatever. I just take over a game, and this singular phobie wins me the entire game. Shove Shark, even though it's a support phobie, kind of is in that role now because it shows up in, like, every game. And I've said it before, I'm fine with that. It enables so many different things. And to be honest, like, how often did we see Blondie before Shove Shark showed up? It was basically never, right? Do we have a sacrificial Jin Sting here? Nope, we're going to get the Scream. Only getting 2 Phobies. And this could be an issue for our hero. You gotta be losing the Hematic in this. I mean, it's already in range of Inoculus. And bad guy can bring a ton of additional support. But the Glob is there threatening. It can't quite get to the Inoculus right now. I don't think Shove Shark is online because we just used it for the Blondie, so no, it should not be. And I feel like not enough people do this, which is body block for, or to body block out the Glob, because that Glob now has to eat the Shove Shark rather than get to the Jin Sting. I guess it could go for Snowball here, or it could just get cooked, but yeah, we're gonna get cooked by Radiator. Big ol' splat. Wait, it didn't die? Oh my god, how much health does this Glob have? 5 health. Oh no. Bad guy 100% thought that was dying. Bad guy 100% thought that Glob was dying. Sucky. Sure. What do you want to put on the board for 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maxed out right now. What are we body blocking for with the Sucky? The Glob does claim the life of the opposing Shove Shark. Blondie, yeah, Blondie should tank all of this, I think. I guess there's a world where bad guy pushes super hard. Like, you can send the Jin Sting up 2. You send Billy in for 2 hits. And you have support. Alright, so Blondie's not going to make it out of this. Not in one piece, anyway. Jar is the final phobie. And this is a pretty decent play from bad guy here, except we are going to see the Bad Omen probably power down, like, almost their entire team. Yeah, you can hit... okay, so it's either you miss the Inoculus or you miss the Jar and the Ray. I mean, you're going to miss the Ray no matter what. But you clear out the Snowball like this. Bad Omen comes in, so we're going to power down those 4 Phobies. 2/3 of bad guy's team powered down. Big deal. Sheeping Gas. Is that okay? I guess it's fine. It's a bunch of mechs and some mobile Phobies, so I don't know if the sheep's going to get a connection. I'm sure it will, but see how good it is ultimately. Jar, unaffected by the Omen, takes down the cat. What do we got here? This still isn't a great spot for our hero. Only got 4 Phobies left. You gotta make some serious... Ooh. Alright, I didn't expect Sucky to do that even off the stim, to be honest. We do get the Fart Explosion. That's a double hit, although only one gets poisoned. Bluelian puts out a decent amount of damage. So that looks like a dead Jin Sting. Do we get the Doctor as well? Doctor cooked. And then there were 3. Speaking of 3. It even will kill it with the fire. Lol. Now here's the thing. Our hero can just claim the center panic point. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you can probably kill the jar. You can actually claim all the panic points. But we're going to lock up the stim position. I think bad guy can kill the sheep here. Should have enough damage. Wait, are you letting this... There's no way this dies to the fire, does it? I don't know about that one. Where was Billy to start the turn? Billy's out of range of the unicorn. Dude, you gotta kill this. I think bad guy thought it was gonna die to the fire and did not double check. I think the Sucky leap is back up, so most likely you lose the Billy. Maybe that's why they left? This doesn't seem good, though. 5-0 panic point advantage. Maybe bad guy would have been cooked if they had tried to do it. But I'm not envious of their position after tucking themselves into the corner to hit Sucky for whatever reason. I think bad guy was expecting the sheep to die to the fire, and when they didn't, I mean, they're just dead now, right? Not enough time or Phobies to try and reclaim this one. Well played. Well done. Stick a fork in them. They're done. And that's all the games for tonight, chat. Those are all the games. Very short queue tonight. If you're interested in submitting your own games, hit up the Random Slots Discord. The link for that is, of course, in the description of this video. But as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And tune in next time for more Random Slots.